Good morning, YouTube friends. Thanks so much for coming by. Today we are making the ultimate vegan brunch. We have got a just egg vegetable scramble coming at you, as well as a awesome flax and blueberry pancake hack. Super simple, totally delicious. And then I want to share with you my most favorite way to cook kale. I promise it won't disappoint. Keep on watching to see how we do it. Okay guys, we are getting started with our kale first. This is the component of our brunch that takes the longest to cook, so I'm getting started with this first. We're going to try to get everything done at about the same time. So I'm just pulling these beautiful leaves apart and off of the thick fibrous stem that you can see there. So we have nice little bite-sized pieces of kale leaf. I wouldn't worry too much about getting your leaves too small or too uniform, because they definitely will shrink in the oven. And one of the things that makes this so delicious is the different textures that you get from the way that we're cooking it. So just break it apart kind of haphazardly. And once we've got our leaves destemmed, we're just going to toss them onto a cookie sheet, and we're going to spray them super lightly with a bit of olive oil cooking spray, and that's going to give our kale some stick so we can get things to stick to it. That is a technical term. So I'm just going to go in with a couple ingredients and sprinkle them evenly. I've got some nutritional yeast that I just sprinkled on, which is going to give us a nice kind of Parmesan-y flavor. I've also got some freshly ground pepper. Normal ground pepper will absolutely do. I'm going to be pretty liberal with that. I'm also going to sprinkle some garlic salt on there. And then for a kick, because I just love it so much, I'm going to sprinkle just a titch of roasted red pepper flakes. Totally optional ingredient. And then I'm going to kind of massage it together, flip it around, and do the exact same thing to the other side. And the second time around, I'm going to be even more liberal with our nutritional yeast. Gives it a nice little crust as it gets crispy. It's like game changer delicious, if you ask me. And then we're just going to pop these guys in the oven at 375 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes. And then at that point, we'll check on them and stir them up a little bit. Here they go. And while those are in the oven, I am going to make our pancakes. So the hack for these pancakes is I'm actually using some mix. This is a Log Cabin All Natural whole grain pancake mix. It happens to be vegan. So I've got a half a cup of that, 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, and a tiny, tiny pinch of baking soda. That's going to help our batter rise as it cooks. Be careful with the baking soda. If you add too much, it definitely adds a little bit of a sour, bitter taste. So be very cautious of that. And then I'm just going to slowly mix in about a half a cup of water until we get a consistency that we like. And that's it. So simple, still quite good for you, but you can do this in about 5 minutes on a weekday if you're really feeling like it. Although there is something about having it with blueberries, it just is very, very brunch to me. So I'm gonna have this with my scramble and kale as well. Okay, that texture is looking really good. Where we've added a bit of the baking soda to it, we want to cook these right away so they get a nice fluff to them and they don't deflate. So I've got a large pan here with just a titch of cooking spray in it, and I'm going to pour in our batter. And then I'm also going to add some fresh blueberries to these pancakes. You can add, of course, any fruit, but blueberry and flax seem to go really well to me, especially with that heavy vanilla flavor. Once our pancakes are bubbling a little bit and those bubbles pop, I'm going to flip them, and then I'm going to transfer them to a burner that is off, and that's going to just kind of get them to cook all the way but also stay warm while we make up our scramble really quickly here. So use any veggies you've got on hand. I had a little bit of portobello, some red onion, and actually some raw Brussels sprouts, so I thought I'd give them a shot. It was a very good decision. I cut them super thin, and instead of using oil, I just poured in about 1/8 of a cup of water, and we're going to just steam them up like so. And pour in our just egg mixture. I have an awesome video for a just egg substitute hack. I will link it up here so you can test it out. The flavor is insane. I highly recommend you give it a shot. I'm going to add some nutritional yeast as well to give a little bit of that Parmesan-y flavor. It just adds really nicely to all these ingredients. And I'm going to incredibly awkwardly try to move our egg around because I'm filming with one hand. So normally it doesn't look this ridiculous, but we're just scrambling them up here. And that's all she wrote. Super simple. At this point, it's been about 15 minutes. I'm just going to go in with our kale and kind of move them around, get them spaced out so we can get some nice and crunchy bits, as well as some nice and tender bits. Okay, time for plate up. Got our ultimate brunch here. It didn't take too much time to make, but we've got some stellar components. This is going to be so delicious. So we've got our 3 flax and blueberry pancakes here. On the other side, I'm going to add our just egg scramble. I had no idea how much I was going to like shaved Brussels sprouts in my scramble here, and I think you should try it. It's so delicious, and you get those cruciferous vegetables as well, so super good for you. It's a really nice way to use up some veggies that are in your fridge. I bought a giant pack of these Brussels sprouts, and it's taking me a little while to go through them. So, and then I'm just going to add our kale down the middle. I love to eat a bite of this just egg with the crunchy kale. It is just so good, but you really can eat this kale in any kind of way. I will snack on it like a chip. I love dipping it in tahini. I know that I've showed you guys a video in the past that I do something similar to this and put it over my pizza to kind of get like a salad and greens in as well while I'm totally eating a ton of carbs. So the possibilities are quite endless. If you're skeptical on eating kale and liking kale, I think this is a very good segue recipe because it really is. It doesn't seem like a health food this way, and there's hardly any oil, and kale is just so damn good for you. So give it a try. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of fresh fruit to round everything out, and because yellow kiwis are on sale at Smith's Marketplace and they're delicious, and we have got ourselves a serious brunch feast going on. Look at that. So yummy. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope that you are all staying safe and healthy, and that you have many, many, many more delicious brunches in your future. I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.